Dear students, today we will discuss development and non-development expenditures. Now, development expenditure. These expenditures are incurred on development activities of the government. This includes expenditure on education, health, industry, agriculture, transport, roads, canals, rural development, water works, and generation of power, etc. These are helpful to raise the national income. So this development expenditure help us to raise the national income. Now then, non-development expenditure. Non-development expenditure of government relates to non-development activities of the government. This includes expenditure on administration, police, military, law and order, collection of taxes, interest on loans, payments of old age pensions, etc. These are all non development expenditures. These expenditures do not raise national income, they even reduce it to some extent. So, non development expenditures and development expenditure. Development expenditure help us to raise the national income, and non-development expenditure does not have any such significance. Now then, there is planned and non-planned expenditure. Now, what is planned expenditure? Planned expenditure is that expenditure which is incurred by the government within the preview of its planned development programs. This includes both consumption as well as investment. So, this planned expenditure includes both consumption as well as investment expenditure by the government or planning commission of the government, which is nowadays called Niti Aayog. So, expenditure on agriculture, power, communication, industry, notable, and public transport, public utilities, health, and education. These are some examples of planned expenditure. Now, then, what are non planned expenditures? Non planned expenditure refers to all such government expenditures which are not related to planned development programs of the government. यानी एमरजेंसी में कोई भी खर्चा करना पड़ता है जो किसी प्लान्ड एक्सपेंडिचर में नहीं था, गवर्नमेंट के प्लान में नहीं था. These are called non planned expenditures. This includes expenditure on subsidies, defense, law and order, as well as payment of interest on loans by the government. So these are non-planned expenditures of the government. Now, after that, there is question that what is a balanced budget and what is an imbalanced budget. So this can also be explained in this manner, that distinguish between balanced and unbalanced budget, or what is difference between balanced and unbalanced budget. Now, balanced budget, as the name indicates, it is budget in which government receipts are equal to government expenditure over a fixed period of time. That fixed period of time is generally one financial year. So balanced budget is equal to government receipts and government expenditure. So when government receipts are equal to government expenditure, we say that budget is a balanced budget. Then unbalanced budget. Unbalanced budget is in simple way either a deficit budget or a surplus budget. When budget is unbalanced budget, it is either a deficit budget or a surplus budget. Thus, a surplus budget and deficit budget both are called unbalanced budget. Now, Professor Dalton has explained this unbalanced budget in these words like this: a budget is a deficit budget if during a given period expenditure exceeds the revenue. ये प्रोफेसर डाल्टन ने कहा है, यानी अगर खर्चा जो है आमदनी से ज़्यादा हो जाए बजट में, देन इट इज़ ए डेफिसिट बजट। इसी तरह से अगर हमें सरप्लस बजट को एक्सप्लेन करना है तो सरप्लस बजट ऐसा बजट होता है जिसमें एक्सपेंडिचर से एक्सीड करती है इनकम। जब एक्सपेंडिचर कम होगा बजट में और इनकम ज़्यादा होगी तो then this budget is also unbalanced budget, but it is called surplus budget. So the unbalanced budget can further be said as surplus budget or deficit budget. Surplus budget is that budget where government receptors exceed government expenditure, and deficit budget is that budget where government receptors are less than government expenditure, or we say that government expenditure exceeds government receptors. So that is called a deficit budget, and both of these budgets are unbalanced budgets. Now in next class we will explain what is a deficit budget and what is then in next class we will discuss what is budget deficit, यानी माली खसारा जो बजट में होता है वो क्या चीज़ है।